again, welcome to the K-Files this morning. We have with us, my buddy JP is back with me this morning. And we have, I'll also say my buddy, Captain Jeff Sherrod. So glad to have you with us this morning to let us know what's going on in good old Nash County. So let's talk first about an event that happened. We were fortunate enough to host the FBI again.
We were
this year. Tell everybody what that is.
So, what it is the FBI's the National Academy. Local police departments and sheriff's offices can send representatives to the FBI Academy up in Quantico, and we were able to host the North Carolina chapter, the fall event for the North Carolina FBI Association. So it started Wednesday night. The board members started coming in. So we met with them and told them how the next couple of days were going to go. Thursday they had meetings and we had activities for the members that had came in. Thursday night we had a large social gathering and everybody was able to meet each other. Hadn't seen each other since the spring conference and we hadn't seen them since, man, I think it was 3 years ago we hosted this. And,
a lot of networking.
It is. And I mean, that's what it's all about. That's what these conferences are all about.
Sure.
And then Friday, we had the actual conference, and there was probably 200 plus people at this event. And like I said, they were, former police chiefs, former command staff from local sheriff's offices and police departments throughout the state of North Carolina. And they came, and we had a guest speaker. Carmen Best came and was the guest speaker, and then at the end of the day I was able to present the Lynn Keel case to them.
Oh wow, what an interesting case to present to them.
It was, and we didn't present it to them as us solving the homicide. We presented it to them basically as you just finished saying, it was all the networking.
Right.
We were able to, during that case, we were able to pick up the phone and call certain agencies to say, hey, we need a favor, or hey, we need this, or hey, we need that. And, and it all relates back to conferences like the FBI where you can meet people and talk to them, exchange business card, form a relationship with them.
Well, you talked about, during that case, you talked about it several times on the air, and you said that every single time you came, how important those relationships were in helping to solve that case.
I mean, it is. I mean, because, it makes a ton of difference when you can pick up a phone and you can call somebody in another agency or another department in state or out of state and say, hey, I need this, can you help me get this done? And then they
make
get
it happen.
And they can make it happen.
Yeah.
And and luckily for us, and Sheriff Stone is extremely big in networking. It happens to us. People call us all the time and say, hey, we met you at such and such, or Sheriff Stone told me to call you.
Right.
And they ask, or they tell us what they need, and we make it happen for them.
Ultimately, y'all all have the same goal.
Exactly.
I mean,
To solve
Solve
to
crime.
solve
Make things happen.
crime.
Exactly.
Period. Yeah.
So I mean, it's a huge event, and like I said, you can't say it enough. That's what it's all about. And I go to the North Carolina Homicide Conference at the end of this month, and I present Lynn Keel to the homicide detectives throughout the state of North Carolina. And once again, it's about meeting them, talking to them about how we used other people, and then you meet new people that have came to this homicide conference and getting to know them. So if you ever need them, you can call them and have the same thing done if you ever need it again.
Right. Well, it was a great event and very impressive. Y'all really put on a really good event for them. How many times have they been here?
I would say overall probably maybe 5 or 6 times. I think the last time was 3 years ago.
3 years ago, yes.
And but I mean, we try to have a great conference for them, so that when it comes back up, they say, hey, is Nash County interested in hosting again? Because we do have such a large turnout, and we try to make it fun for them and entertaining, and just it's all about, you can't say it enough, it's all about networking and just meeting people from other agencies and having that partnership.
Yeah, because y'all had some time to, beyond the conference, had some time to go out and do some
Socialize.
sporting events and things like that.
We had it set up where they could go skeet shooting at Rose Hill. We had another group that were taking people to go play golf here in town, and then some of the women. We had another group that took some of the women shopping in Johnston County at the
oh
outlets.
wow! I know they
So-
like that.
So I mean, we try to make an event for them instead of just coming here being bored and waiting around for the meeting that night. So we Curtis Moore, who's one of our captains, he was in charge of the whole event. He did an outstanding job with it.
Yes, he
and,
did.
It's rewarding to us when people walk up to you after and say, "Man, this was a great conference. We enjoyed coming to Natchez County." So it was big for us.
Yeah, you want them to say, and I'm sure they will, hey, we hope they have it in Rocky Mount again, or in Nash County, let's put it that way. We hope they have it in Nash County again because they put on the show for us. So, we do it right, and
We
that's
try.
good. And good music at the Thursday night event and things like that. So, anyway, all right, let's talk about some cases.
Well, we're still asking for any kind of information in the homicide that happened on August the 7th up on Lonesome Pine Road. 17-year-old Melito Armstrong Jr. was shot and killed at a party. There was roughly 150 people at this party. Lieutenant Taylor Neal is investigating it, and he's been working some leads that have came in, but we hadn't got to that one lead yet that will help us turn this case around. And it still amazes to me how there's 150 people at a party and
Nobody saw nothing.
Nobody saw anything.
I was going to
wrong.
say that the big thing here is 150 people, somebody knows.
Somebody saw something.
Yes.
And I understand people say they're scared of retaliation and things of that way, but there's ways of getting around
This
that.
is anonymous.
Exactly. Call the
Anonymous. We're not going to
hotline.
know who you are.
Call the hotline. Call Fighting Crime. Give them a tip. You stay anonymous. We act off the tip, so we don't know who you are. So I mean, there's ways around
Yes.
worrying about
Having your name out there.
having your name
Yeah.
out there, or having your name in a report. Because if you call the hotline at Fighting Crime, you can give the tip to Kat. She gives it to us, and we have no idea who you are.
Right.
So, and there's ways around it. So I wish the people would take that advantage, and let's try to get this case
Or they can
solved.
call the sheriff's department.
Oh yeah, they can call the sheriff's. I mean,
459-4121.
exactly.
I'm learning it.
You are learning it.
It's not because I've been in trouble and had to call. It's
No,
just
you-
I've heard it so many times.
You just dial straight 911. Though.
I sure do. But anyway, yeah. So $15,000
Up to.
cash money. Yeah, up to $15,000 cash within 48 hours. I mean, what more can you ask? Get a little cash. The holidays are coming. Can you use a little cash? Well, this is a way to do it anonymously.
Yeah.
So, anyway, Melito Armstrong. Now, where is Lonesome Pine?
It's outside of Whitaker's. Well,
Right
it's a Whitaker's
outside.
address. Well, it's a Whitaker's address, but it's not too far from the old Stuckey's that are off 33 Highway. It's not far from there.
Okay, all right. Well, if anybody knows anything, you know the drill. So, you can also call Twin County Crime Stoppers 977-1111. So there are a lot of options.
Lot.
There's no reason not to. So.
And stay anonymous.
Yes,
That's
and
the best
stay
part.
anonymous. And they are really, really looking for tips in this case, folks. So please, let's give the family some closure, and let's get somebody off the street.
And put
So-
some money in your hand. Because if
Exactly.
150 people were there, we all know somebody knows
Oh
something.
yes, most definitely somebody
Yes.
saw something, saw what happened, and like I said, we just need that one person to come forward, stay anonymous, and break the case for us.
Okay. All right. We thank you for coming, Captain.
Not a
and
problem.
we'll see you the first of the month. All right.
All right.
We'll be right back on the K-Files right after this.
No one ever wants to go into a life emergency. In fact, many of us wouldn't even know what to do if we were faced with an emergency, but they will come. Thankfully, there's men and women that train every single day for moments like this, that work on our behalf to serve and protect our local communities. Hi, I'm Kevin Zander from Don's Body Shop and Auto Body Wilson. With everything that's going on in life right now, we just want to take a moment to thank our first responders, for those that pledged their lives to serve and protect in our communities. You know, we all expect people to do their jobs, but some people's occupations may even require them to give of their life as a sacrifice. For this reason, we also want to honor those families that lost a loved one in the line of duty. Our thoughts and our prayers are with you. Let us not take these services for granted. To our first responders, again, we say thank you. From our nurses to our military, we appreciate your service. And as a local business owner, I pray that we continue to work together and strive for an emergency-free community. Thank you, and God bless.
I'm Daniel Moss, owner of Cornerstone Funeral Home, and I'd like to invite you and your family to give our family an opportunity to serve you in your time of need. And we offer a full line of funeral services, everything from visitations to graveside services to cremations on site with a live crematory, as well as a banquet hall to meet the catering needs of our families that we serve. We offer catering service, we offer refreshments prior to visitations and services of our family, and we want to invite you to come and experience the difference here at Cornerstone Funeral Home.
What is the Davis Furniture difference? The difference is we buy with you in mind. For generations, we have listened to our customers. We can help you find the look you want for every room in your house. Quality, style, color, and of course, service. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Davis Furniture, the family business where we treat you like family. Let us help you make your house a home. Davis Furniture, historical downtown Rocky Mount, on the corner of Hill and Main.
Okay, welcome back to the K-Files this morning. We talked about the FBI event, great event with Captain Sherrod. Talked about Melito Armstrong. Hope you'll come through for us on that. And I want to talk about, we'll get to the book, but I want to talk about the case. There's a case I want to look up. Fighting Crime did a really good job of, well, she's doing a really good job of some details, but I'm trying to think of the name of the case that we have been working on. It's not in the book. We've been talking about some, and she really did some big time details, folks. And we had gotten some more information. The law enforcement had gotten more information. If you know anything, the slightest little thing, Kat, I want to have Kat on here because she says she's starting to get some movement, and so is Rocky Mount PD in several cases. I don't know if we're making a difference. I don't know who's making a difference, but people are starting to give tips and give more than they did. So in one case, as I said, they really had some movement because of some tips, but it wasn't solved yet, has not been solved yet. So if you know anything, it is so important to come forward and please, any little tip, they're really encouraging. Rocky Mount told me, I talked to somebody with Rocky Mount the other day, one of the detectives, on a case that they had sent a press release about. And he said anything, just anything that you know, to encourage the citizens. If, and we've said this, I said we have encouraged, we say, is there a car that you've seen? Is there anyone that you've seen? But
a lot of people they probably do know something.
Mm-hmm.
And in the back of their mind, they're thinking, that's an irrelevant detail.
Yeah,
That's
it's
an irrelevant
irrelevant.
fact.
It's not,
It has no. It's not going to make or break this case. And you know what? I don't want to get involved in it.
Exactly. Well, I think we are starting to get more tips. Fighting Crime puts a lot out there, asking for tips. She puts a lot of Team Cold Case because
does a great
we're
job with that,
about
too.
murders. We're about murders on Team Cold Case. I mean, she puts out other things on her news as well, but we are getting movement. We are getting having people to come forth with tips a little bit more. So please continue. Please do so if you know anything. So that's my whole point. But there was a case that they're really getting some movement on, and that makes us feel good. And Baby Nash, as we said, I talked to him about that. They're so backed up. I can't imagine how backed up they are. I mean, there was a case, it wasn't a murder, I'll just say that, on Nashville Road, with a case that was sent for autopsy, and it's going to be months before they can get any movement on it from the lab. I mean, I wish
That's
we
unacceptable.
could, but the Baby Nash is the same way.
Yeah.
They have in their mind, law enforcement has in their mind a suspect, but it all hinges on this evidence, all of it.
Just like Skeet was saying a while ago when they were working the kill case, networking is important from a law enforcement perspective to other law enforcement agencies to make things happen. Well, on a
Right.
lower level, that's what we're trying to do here is network with the community to share information.
Mm-hmm.
Because on our level, if we could get friends, family members, neighbors, people who are in the know to share that
Mm-hmm.
information, we can solve these crimes. There's not a crime in this book that couldn't be solved.
Oh yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's just about networking and sharing information.
That's exactly right. Exactly. So anyway, we hope you will participate, cooperate, whatever you want to call it. But tell your friends, this show comes on again on Friday nights at 7 o'clock. We have every one of these shows on YouTube. So if somebody knows something and they need to just see the details or see a little bit more about the case, go to YouTube. And our shows are definitely on there all the time. So anyway, you want to read us, I don't have my book, but if you want to read the next one, we're kind of trying to go in order in this book to make sure we don't miss any, because
Right.
every case, one case is just as important as another.
It looks like here we are at Jermaine Lynch.
Okay.
Jermaine Lynch. This is from September 8th, 2009. Around 11:08 p.m., Rocky Mount Police Department was dispatched to a shooting on the corner of Tom's Trail and Travis Run in Rocky Mount. When law enforcement arrived, they found Jermaine Lynch suffering from a gunshot wound. During the investigation, they determined that the shooting stemmed from a robbery. The suspects were 4 to 6 black males, one male being between the ages of 45 and 50 years old, with a thin build, grayish thin beard. The suspects tried to rob Jermaine as he was next to a van. He was shot and then ran from the scene to where he was found later by law enforcement.
And I'm sorry, but I don't know. I'm usually pretty good with streets in Rocky Mount and roads. I do not know where either one of those.
I've never heard of either one of them. Tom's Trail and Travis Run in Rocky Mount.
I don't know where those are, but anyway, this happened in 2009, folks, so it's been a while ago. And read who Jermaine
Jermaine
Lynch.
Jermaine Lynch. And this was, 11, 12 years ago? So if the suspect was 45 to 50 years old then, I mean, so now you're looking at him being, 57, 60 years old. Grayish, thin beard. If you know something, call the number on the line here, 977-1111.
Well, if, you might, some people might think, because over the years, JP, the cases kind of go in the back of your mind. If you knew something, well, you think, well, by now that case is probably solved. You don't know that it's not solved.
Right.
But it's not. This case is one of many that is not solved. So
And this,
you could help.
and this, I wish I could share this picture of this young man. Clean cut. He's in a football jersey. Handsome young man. Looked like, his life was ahead of him. His family, I'm sure they are still at wit's end years later. They want some closure. They want someone brought to justice for this. It was a senseless, act.
Yes. Like most of them are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you know anything, give us a call. That is a shame, and I see that he is a clean-cut, nice-looking guy. So, okay, well, it's time for us to take a break real quick, and we'll be right back with you after weather to do more cases.
Why buy from Don Bullock Chevrolet? What we do it better for you, like the Lifetime Care Promise. Just drive into our service department and we'll top off your fluids and oil, check your tire pressure, all while you remain in your car. And in less than 5 minutes. Plus, it's free. Don Bullock Chevrolet is a full-service dealership with service, parts, and collision department. Let our knowledgeable and friendly staff help you. On-site, third-generation owned and operated for 105 years. Don Bullock Chevrolet.
The tank is on E, and your low tire pressure light is glaring at you again. You do not have time to wait in line and pay to put air in the tires, and you certainly don't want to get out of the car in the cold and pump gas. What if you could pull up to a gas pump and have an attendant run out to greet you to pump your gas, clean your windshield, and put air in the tire, all for no extra charge, while you step inside and enjoy a made-to-order breakfast or lunch? Does that kind of full service exist anymore? It does at JD's Grocery and Grill, a service station created to bring back the full service experience to all customers. JD's Grocery and Grill is a full service gas station. Eat in restaurant with tasty made-to-order food and a grocery store all in one. The staff at JD's Grocery and Grill is ready to field all requests and will help you find anything you need. Call them today at 252-972-5000 or stop on by at 1240 Atlantic Avenue. Store hours Monday through Saturday 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Grill hours Monday through Saturday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. JD's Grill and Grocery, at the heart of great food.
Okay, welcome back to the K-Files this morning. Now I think our next case will be Brian Dominic Mitchell. JP will read that to you.
Brian Dominic Mitchell. This case is from March 25th, 2010. Officers responded to the 500 block of Fairview Avenue Southwest in Wilson to a shooting. Brian Mitchell was standing in a lawn when a drive-by shooting took place. Witnesses who saw the shooting put Mitchell in their car and transported him to Wilson Medical Center, where he was later pronounced deceased. And again, this is a Wilson case.
We do a lot
with
of Wilson cases.
Very few or very limited details.
Right.
And that's just kind of where we are with that. Very limited
If you know where
information.
Fairview Avenue is, southwest, 500 block, in Wilson, just standing on the lawn.
Standing in the yard. Yeah.
Drive-by shootings are just, it just scares me to death, because you could be mistaken for someone, you could be in your car, and they get the bullet just happens to,
indiscriminately clip you.
Yeah, could. So, anyway, Brian Dominic Mitchell, if you know anything, please come forward. All right, we'll go on to Tony Wilkins.
Case here of Tony Wilkins. This case is from June 30th, 2010. Around 9:10 a.m., Rocky Mount police were called when a neighbor heard a gunshot coming from 520 Cascade Avenue, apartment D in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. When they arrived, they found Tony Wilkins, 41, laying on the floor of his apartment between the living room and the kitchen. A neighbor saw someone go to the door just earlier, and Wilkins let that person in. Moments later, the neighbor heard a gunshot. Not only did the suspect shoot Wilkins 2 times in the face and head, but then took a knife and stuck it in the back of Wilkins's neck. The knife was still in his neck when police arrived. This insinuates that the person was really mad at Wilkins to not only shoot him, but to stab him as well. That goes into rage.
Well, if someone is mad with you to that degree, don't you know it? Then why would you let him in?
Yeah.
He let him in. Yeah, he let him in his house, and golly, the knife was still in his neck when the police got there. Terrible. Yeah, this was rage, no doubt about it.
That's a good point. Why would you let somebody in? He bound to have, if there was trouble or drama between him and the suspect,
Yeah.
he wouldn't have knowingly let them in. That's interesting.
Because this person was really mad. I mean, really mad. Cascade Avenue, 520 Cascade Avenue, apartment D.
9 o'clock in the morning.
9 o'clock in the morning. I mean, this person contemplated doing this all night. It just started right off the bat in the morning. Okay, George Thomas Harrison.
George Thomas Harrison. This case is from July 9th, 2010. George Thomas Harrison, 77 years old at the time, was found beaten in his home on Mutual Boulevard in Princeville, North Carolina, and taken to a nearby hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. The suspect broke through a window in Harrison's home and attacked him around 6:05 a.m. He was found not too long after the attack and taken to Pitt Memorial Hospital, where he died at 10:30 a.m. He was found with 10 cents in his pocket, still wearing a watch and still wearing a ring. So that kind of rules out robbery.
Yeah, this was another case of he was targeted for some reason.
6:05 in the morning, that's an odd time for a home invasion or breaking a burglar. It's an odd time. In July, 6:05 in the morning, it is daylight. It's a little daylight.
Broke in through the window and attacked him around 6:05. So if you know anything about this case, this was from July of 2010. George Thomas Harrison, 77-year-old man. Terrible. If you know anything, please call 406-6736 or 977-1111 and let somebody know if you know any information at all. 6 o'clock in the morning, people are getting up to go to work. People may take their dogs out in the mornings. Somebody may have seen something, but maybe not at 6 o'clock in the morning. People aren't stirring around, they're inside drinking their coffee, getting ready to go. So who knows, but if anybody witnessed anything, but I feel sure somebody knows something, or if Mr. Harrison had any enemies. So this case is still not solved. So if you know anything, $15,000. So you can get up to $15,000, and you get cash. I mean, holidays are coming. Cash money is what you can get if you come forward with a tip, and you get paid within 48 hours. Every case we've paid, and we have paid some cases, has been paid in 2 days. So if you know anything, it would definitely behoove you to come forward. You know, this is probably the shortest one in the book.
One sentence.
We must get more details on this one.
I don't ever remember discussing this one. We may have.
Yeah, I think this is another new one in the book.
Terrell Antoine Gray. This is from October 9th, 2010. Terrell Gray was shot outside of a store at 540 Raleigh Road in Rocky Mount, North Carolina.
Shot outside of a store at 540 Raleigh Road in Rocky Mount. So 540 Raleigh Road, I don't know where that would exactly be. But now, I know Lieutenant Siegman has talked about a store close to Ravenwood. There's a case that there was a shooting. So it may be that store right there at Ravenwood. When you turn into Ravenwood, there's a little mini mart thing. It used to be called something mini mart, but I don't think it is anymore. And the next case, I know Lieutenant Siegman has come on and begged for help in this case. He's talked about this case, I think, more than he has any other case
I agree.
that he's come and talked about. So we'll go over this one again too.
And I hope I pronounced this name correctly. Rafiq
I think so.
Sofan, which he was known as Sammy. This case is from March 8th, 2011. Sammy was killed at his store on the 1100 block of Old Wilson Road in Rocky Mount. He was leaving the store at 12:51 a.m. when he was killed in the parking lot. Rocky Mount police state it was an attempted robbery. Sammy had a large sum of money still in his pocket when police arrived. He had 90 $1 bills, 18 5s, 2 20s, and 3 50s. And that's there by the old peanut mill, right? By the train tracks.
Yes, it is. It's right there beside those train tracks. And the story is, because I knew the previous owner, the reason they called him Sammy probably was because it was named Sammy's Takeout for years and years, and Sammy Evans owned it and sold it evidently to this gentleman.
Okay.
And so that's probably the reason it's called Sammy. But Rafiq Sufan, if y'all know anything, March the 8th, 2011. I remember this case. I remember we went over and took pictures and all kinds of things, and bad situation. And word was that, see, what was it about the suspect leaving I'm trying to remember what Lieutenant Siegman said when the suspect left. They thought Mr. Sufan, I believe, shot at. It was rumored that he shot at the suspect, but that cannot be, at this time, cannot be verified. So that's just what they think, or somebody told them. So
seems like they found him with a weapon that appeared to have been shot, or a round was spent from it, or something like that.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. Yeah. So anyway, if you know anything about this case, at the convenience mart right there, as you said, at the peanut mill, beside right there where the road forks. Cokie Road is here, Old Wilson Road's here, the mini mart is here, convenient mart's here. That's where it was, and just a shame. But but he still, he still had the money. So he did not, they
So
were not
they-
successful.
He may have shot at him.
Yeah, he may have, because they were not successful with the robbery. That must be what, they had several reasons for thinking, and we'll ask the next, whoever comes for Rocky Mount, we'll have to ask them that question. Some more details about this case, about the suspect. And-
Well, they could have looked at his weapon. They could have done a swab test on his hand to see if he had fired a firearm. The biggest indicator would be the fact that whoever it was left this much money behind.
Yeah,
Something
absolutely.
spooked him, and if Sammy was able to get shots off at him, that would probably be a deterrent
Yeah, that's
to
exactly
leave
right.
the money behind. This neighborhood has changed so much since I was a kid.
Yeah, it has. It really has, and that's a shame. But yeah, it's right. There's a park there,
That's right.
close to, kind of diagonally down the street from.
Across from the fuel dock.
Yeah.
See, when I was a little boy, the fuel dock was Bullock and Edwards grocery store. Mr. Edwards ran that grocery store.
Okay.
There was Proctor service station was there across the street from Sammy's, and it's now a Gardner's barbecue, I believe.
Yeah, I think so too. I hadn't ridden over there in a while, but yeah, I think you're right. So anyway, if you know anything, that's all our cases for today, but JP and I'll be back next week to talk about some more, and maybe even invite a guest for next week. So we'll see.
We'll work on it.
All right. Make it a great day, everybody.